I'm going to revisit major scales. For AMEV theory, if that's what you're doing, and you're working through your master, your theory book here, I'm not paid to advertise it, but this is my favourite book that's been written. There's lots of good books, but this one's my favourite one for everyone to start on, and then they can use the other ones to reinforce their ideas. But we're going to look at the major scales that are required in AMEV theory. So that's C major, F major, and G major. Now we looked at C major when we learnt about major scales, and so I might just write it here. So there's my 5 lines for my stave. And then I've got to put my G clef in. If I don't put my clef in, I don't know where my G is. I don't know where any of my notes are. Hopefully that came out better that time. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so there's my C. And I draw 8 notes and I go up the scale. So I always can check line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space. Not really perfectly evenly. It's better if you can write them out more evenly than that. Now, I'm often asked in a grade 1 theory exam, often asked to mark the tones and semitones. So remember the pattern, it was tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now the way I mark them is by putting a slur, and then a T underneath. So there's tone, tone, and I might use a square bracket for semitone this time, and then tone, 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 and then semitone. So hopefully that's clearly visible on the thing. Sometimes they say just mark the semitones, in which case you'd only mark, where's my finger there, the semitone and the semitone there. Now rub it out and let's look at F major. So for F major, is that 5 lines? Yep, and there's hopefully my G clef came out on the video. So I'm going to start on F, and I have to use one for each line in space, one for each letter of the alphabet. So here we go, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and then I double my F at the end. And it's good to finish when we write our scale, our line with a double bar line, which means end of importance section. So I've got that, but the tones and semitones pattern is not right. So F, G, A, B. Well, that's not the semitone. So I need to figure out where that goes. So I go tone, F to G is a tone. So I'll mark it there. Maybe I won't put the slur in this time. There's a tone. G to A is a tone. A to B is not. It's not a semitone. It's a tone. So I need to change my B to make it a semitone. So I'm going to add a flat. Now my A to B is a semitone. Now my B flat to C is a tone, which is what I now need. My C to D is a tone. My D to E is a tone. And my E to F, that's those 2 there, with no black note in between, is a semitone. So now I can check tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So what that told me was for F major, I need a B flat. Now I can put the B flat next to the note like an accidental, but if my whole piece is written in F major, then I can put the B flat at the front instead, and then I don't need it here, because that B flat at the front tells me that all the B flats in my piece are going to be, all the B's in my piece are going to be B flat. Now G major, if my throat will last long enough, but it might not, I'll just step off and take a sip. So G major, we can do the same thing for. So, oh, my notes are a bit wonky. Maybe I better try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're hopefully visible. And then I'll do my G clef there. Now I'm doing G. So G is on my second line. So G major, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then I'll put my double bar line at the end to say end of section. So now I need to figure out where my sharp is going to be. So tone, G to A, tone, A to B, semitone, B to C. There's no black note in between. So there's my semitone there. Tone, tone, E to F is a semitone, but I need that to be a tone. So to make it a tone, I add F sharp. And now I just check that this is a semitone, F sharp to G. Yes, it is. There's F sharp, there's G. So there's no note in between. So now I know that G major has F sharp. Now, so I could put it as an accidental next to the note, or I could put it at the front on this top line. And if that sharp sign's on that top line, that tells me that every F in my piece is going to be F sharp. That tells me my whole piece is in G major. So there's our three scales. C major has no flats and sharps. F major has just B flat. And G major has just F sharp in the key signature.